Hi there, students. A faction, a countable noun. Okay, a faction is a group within a larger group, but particularly one with slightly different ideas from the main group. So, the right-wing faction of a political party. So they have similar ideas to the main group, but there are some differences. And this is the idea of a faction, yeah, is a group within a group, but slightly different beliefs or slightly different ideas. There, it's a small organized group that dissents about some things that the main group agrees on. So it's like a clique, yeah, a cabal, a group, a grouping, yeah. So yeah, there's a clique. Oh, sorry, not a clique. Well, you could use a clique. There are various factions within the party. This is particularly common with political parties. Okay. So very often a civil war is because there are different factions within a group. So yeah, the warring factions. Yeah, a peace agreement will be signed between the warring factions, the two different groups that are at war. Now that's the most common, but you can also use faction to describe argument and disagreement within a group. So faction and disagreement is normal in any political party. Yeah, it's difficult to get everybody together. So here, dissension, division, something like that. But faction, yeah, fighting between two factions, a faction of a political party. You then have an adjective, factional infighting. Okay, within the party, and there is factional infighting, a factional struggle, a struggle between two different factions within a group. Okay, so factions. Each group so you have your whole group, and the whole group has many shared beliefs and many opinions, but there are some that are different from the rest of the group, and this is the idea of factions. Yeah, factional strife, factional discord. You can even have the verb to factionalize, to separate into factions. So I think politics is probably becoming more factionalized. In the US, certainly not. You've just got the right and the left and nothing else. Whereas certainly in Europe, I think politics is much more factional and much more factionalized. There are different pieces or different factions within each grouping. So, for example, the left, you've got the far left. That's maybe one faction. You've got the more progressive left, and that's maybe a different faction. So they're different factions. A faction is effectively a group of people. Yeah, and then also again conflict within an organization. Yeah, so the country is affected with faction and civil war, if you like, factional civil war. The factionalism of the people has caused splinter groups, separating of different groups. Yeah. Okay, so they're inner groups, or they're specific groups. So a set, a division, a subdivision, yeah, a minority, something like that. Yeah, so as I said before, the peace treaty is going to be signed by the leaders of the two different warring factions. Okay, so what about origin? Well, this comes from Latin, factio, a group of people acting together, a political faction, a particular group. Okay, and then as to formality, factions. I think this probably it sounds a bit like news speak, the sort of thing you might hear on the news. I'm going to give it a 6 in formality. I don't think I would use it informally. I think just group, yeah. And yeah, use it in a semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing, or a formal writing. Um, and then what was I going to say? Oh yeah, okay, factions. So yeah, effectively these are different groups. Notice the word faction when it's used, it's usually critical. It's suggesting there should be unity and there shouldn't be these different factions. Okay, but not always. Okay, so enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Factional, factionalize.